So today we're going to talk about what eight-man football teams should actually major in. Again, most eight-man teams stay average for one simple reason. They try to be good at everything. Too many plays, too many adjustments, too many changes every week. And again, what happens? Kids are starting to think instead of playing. In eight-man football, if you try to major in everything, you're going to end up mastering nothing. In my last video, we talked about how and why eight-man teams stay average. Today, I want to talk about what makes great eight-man teams actually and what they major in. The reality of eight-man football is different than bigger programs. Again, we have two-way players, we have limited rosters, we have limited practice time, and you can only get so many reps each week. Energy management matters. Being efficient matters. You simply don't have the luxury of installing 50 concepts. So what you need is clarity. So first thing, core run concept. You might need one or two of these core runs that you can hang your hat on every Friday night. In eight-man football, you can run your run game foundation. That doesn't mean you're never adjust, but it does mean you have something to truly believe in. Your offensive line understands the rules. Your backs see the play clearly. Your players know exactly how the run is supposed to hit, and you should be able to run that core concept against any front, in short yardage, in the red zone, even when everyone in the stadium knows it's coming. If you can't call it when the game is on the line, it's not a core concept. So rep it so much that it becomes instinctive. Again, we do this during camp a lot. When kids stop thinking about footwork, aiming points, and assignment, that's when the play becomes dangerous. So make it a part of your identity. 2, another core pass concept you will need. You don't need 15 pass plays. You need a few that your quarterback truly trusts and understands. In small school football, passing success is about clarity and timing, not volume. Your quarterback should know where the ball is going before the snap. They should be able to pre-read the defense, and you should understand the progression. He should feel confident in his reads. Your receivers should know their pacing, and they should know their landmarks. Again, they should understand the coverage rules. If you're installing new pass concepts every week, you're resetting confidence every week. So confidence over volumes wins in eight-man football. Again, a handful of concepts executed with precision is far more dangerous than a long menu executed hesitantly. And third, a defensive identity. Every good eight-man defense has a clear identity. In small school football, defensive clarity matters more because margin of error is so much smaller. You don't have 22 specialists, you have a small roster again, and you have two-way players. And you have limited practice reps. So if your defense changes every week, again, your players never gain real confidence in what they're doing, like the offense. A good defense doesn't start with scheme. It starts with an identity. Ask yourself one question. What are we taking away every Friday night? Again, you can't take everything away, but you can clearly define what you're trying to do. Is it the inside run, the quarterback run, explosive plays over the top, perimeter, speed? What is the answer? Your structure should reflect that. When players understand the priority, they play faster. And your players should know these three things. What do we stand for defensively? What do we refuse to give up? And how do we fit the structure? Again, every player should know that on your team. So first, what do we stand for defensively? Are we aggressive downhill? Are we built to stop the run first? Are we focused on eliminating explosive plays? That identity should stay consistent week to week. There are some tweaks there, but again, it should stay consistent week to week. And then second, what do we refuse to give up? Great defenses always have something they refuse to allow. Again, maybe it's just vertical yards. Maybe it's quarterback scrambles. Maybe it's explosive plays. When players understand this, their decision-making becomes faster. So try to figure that out. And then a third, how do we fit the structure? Every player needs clarity, so they need to know their gap responsibility, their read key, their leverage, and their coverage rules. If those rules constantly change, hesitation is starting to creep in. And hesitation on defense usually leads to big plays. Again, one step too slow can lead to big plays, especially in eight-man. Again, you don't need endless coverage. Many coaches fall into the trap of adding more calls, more fronts, more coverages, more blitzes, more adjustments. But eight-man football, complexity often slows your defense down. You don't need 20 coverages. You need a handful of calls players truly understand. And when the rules are clear, communication improves. When communication improves, players play faster. Again, defensive identity builds aggression. This is huge to have in eight-man for sure. When players know exactly what defense is built to stop. So they go faster, they trust their assignment, and they trust the culture. Practice structure. Again, this can have a lot to do with how everything runs. So you don't major in plays, you major in how you practice. So being efficient in practice really, really matters. And this is where many programs miss. You need clarity in how you warm up, how you run individual periods, how you script your team periods, and how you transition between drills. So reps matter more than variety. Again, we're trying to rep the same things multiple times instead of just trying to add more variety. Tempo matters more than length, and energy matters more than volume. If practice is chaotic, Friday will also feel chaotic. If practice is structured and purposeful, Fridays are going to feel a lot slower for those kids and for you as a coach. Major in the structure and not just the scheme, because structure builds repetition, and repetition builds confidence. Again, why this works. Repetition is always going to build more confidence, and in late in the game and those things on Friday night that happen, kids are going to become more confident because of that. Confidence builds speed. Again, they're going to play a lot faster because they just know where they're going, and speed creates explosive plays. Fast football doesn't come from being complex, it comes from clarity. So if you coach 8-man football, I hope you can do this at a little bit, but just simplify. Major in a few things, rep them relentlessly. So clarity, repetition, and speed. That's 8-man fast.